The watchers above. The sky had never looked like this. A strange undulating shimmer rolled across the clouds, casting eerie green reflections over abandoned streets. People whispered that something was coming, though no one knew what or why. The satellites were picking up anomalies, signals that were deliberate, intelligent, and terrifyingly precise. We were watching when they arrived. Not in stealth, not in silence. They came in massive arcs of metal and light, suspended in Earth's orbit like judgment itself. The aliens called us primitive, sneering at our rusty spacecraft and crumbling cities. Their messages were cold, clipped, and patronizing. You are insignificant. Resistance is illogical. Submit or perish. The world panicked. Governments scrambled jets, fired missiles, and activated outdated defense grids. People hid in basements, some praying, some crying, some simply staring at the sky, hoping that the universe had made a mistake. I watched from my rooftop, notebook in hand, recording everything, because something felt off. Too calculated, too patient. Beneath our feet, the planet was stirring. We didn't know it yet, but Earth had always been more than land and water, more than a home for fragile creatures. In deep hidden caverns and tectonic veins, something ancient began to hum. A low vibration moved through the crust, felt only as a subtle, unsettling pulse. Scientists dismissed it as seismic activity, minor tectonic shifts. But this was different. This was deliberate. The first beam struck at dawn. Alien energy cut through the horizon, vaporizing forests and flattening cities. Yet as the firestorm spread, strange metallic shapes rose from the depths of Earth. They were impossibly large, geometric and alive in ways our physics couldn't explain. Mountains shifted as if the planet exhaled, tectonic plates moving with uncanny precision. Oceans boiled briefly, then calmed as waves of energy from the planet's core radiated outward. Panic turned into awe. From the windows of surviving skyscrapers, people saw structures of glowing metal and crystal, rising like guardians from the Earth itself. Alien ships tried to retaliate, but their beams fractured, ricocheted, or vanished entirely. The arrogance of centuries of conquest faltered before a force they had never imagined. Some said the Earth was angry. Others whispered that it had been waiting, patient, silent, watching. The aliens called us primitive, but they were the ones who didn't understand what lived beneath our feet. As the sun rose, turning the green shimmer to gold, humanity finally understood one terrifying truth. The planet we walked upon, took for granted and called home, was alive in ways we could barely comprehend, and it had chosen its moment, awakening the depths. The world had changed overnight. Cities once bustling with life now lay in silence, their skyscrapers intact but eerily empty. Survivors wandered through streets bathed in an unnatural glow, their eyes drawn skyward to the alien ships, frozen mid-attack as if hesitating before an invisible force. Beneath the surface, the planet's machinery continued to awaken. Tectonic plates shifted with impossible precision, carving new channels and lifting mountains. Rivers rerouted themselves as if the Earth were drawing a new map, one designed for defense. Lava pools glowed not in destruction, but as conduits of a power older than the first civilization. Deep underground, crystalline structures rose, pulsing with light and resonance. The hum of the Earth became a language, alien even to us, yet undeniably intelligent. Above, the invaders scrambled. Their vessels, once sleek and confident, quivered under forces they could not calculate. Energy beams struck the rising structures only to disintegrate or be absorbed, feeding the planet's awakening. Attempts to flee were futile. Gravity anomalies formed around the largest cities, making movement near impossible. Ships stalled, engines overloaded, and panic spread among their ranks. Humans were terrified, yet we began to understand. The planet's response was selective, almost purposeful. Entire alien squadrons were neutralized before reaching residential zones. Streets once crowded with fear and chaos now bore the weight of awe. People who had survived the initial strike were witnessing something no war, no weapon, no diplomacy could ever explain. Earth itself had become our shield. Scientists, military strategists, and engineers tried to make sense of it. Measurements defied every law of physics. Vibrations from the crust seemed to anticipate alien movements. Mountains and forests shifted like chess pieces on an enormous board. From the depths of the ocean, structures emerged. Spires of metal and crystal that reflected beams of sunlight with blinding brilliance. Even the air seemed to shimmer with energy, carrying a resonance that set the teeth on edge and the heart racing. The aliens' arrogance began to crumble. Their commands became frantic, incomprehensible. "This is impossible," one broadcast crackled, the voice trembling. "We misjudged them. The planet. They unresist." And yet humanity had barely moved. We were observers in this awakening, powerless yet shielded, watching a force far greater than any of us take control. Our so-called primitiveness, our insignificance, what had been a lie. The Earth was alive, sentient, and had chosen to defend its children. By nightfall, the alien fleet was in retreat, but not without cost. The planet had claimed dozens of ships, twisted them into glowing fragments that fell harmlessly into deserts and oceans. Alien technology was scattered across continents, inert, as if the planet had dissected it for study. And amidst this chaos, humans whispered their first words of true understanding. We were not the weak ones. We were the children of a planet that would not be conquered. The real question lingered in the air, heavier than fear. What would Earth do next? The planet's judgment. The night sky burned with color. Aurora-like waves of energy danced across continents, visible even from orbit. Alien ships, once arrogant and unyielding, hovered hesitantly above the surface, their formations fractured and trembling. Humanity watched from ruins, rooftops, and the few intact observation towers, hearts pounding as the ground beneath our feet vibrated with a power we had only begun to comprehend. Then it happened. The planet moved, not subtly, not as if nudging, but with the deliberate grace of a predator. Mountains shifted into barriers, rivers roared and surged, and forests seemed to twist as though alive. The alien fleet tried to react, firing every weapon, every laser, every energy beam. Yet every attack was countered, absorbed, or redirected by Earth's mechanisms. Entire squadrons vanished into pulses of light that rose from the crust like the hands of a colossal guardian. Humans, frozen in awe, began to understand what the aliens never could. The battle had never been ours to fight. It belonged to the planet itself. We had been called primitive, laughed at, dismissed, but Earth had watched patiently for centuries, waiting for the moment to remind the universe why it was not so simple to conquer its children. One by one, the alien ships disintegrated, drawn into fields of energy that pulsed like a heartbeat, strong, unyielding, unstoppable. The sky itself seemed to bend around them, clouds rising in impossible spirals, lightning arcing in patterns too precise to be natural. On the ground, we felt the hum, a vibration that resonated in our bones and whispered a promise. You are protected. And then silence. Where once the fleet had loomed, nothing remained but fragments of alien metal, glowing faintly as they sank harmlessly into forests and oceans. The air was thick with electricity, but it was not threatening. It was alive, aware, and watchful. Humanity stepped cautiously into this new world, realizing that survival had never been our achievement alone. Earth itself had defended us, chosen to intervene. Its mechanisms, buried for eons beneath our feet, had activated in a synchronized symphony of power and precision. We were its children. Primitive in our arrogance, yes, but protected by something far greater than our understanding. In the days that followed, humanity rebuilt not out of triumph, but out of awe and respect. No one dared call Earth inert again. The planet had shown us its mind, its strength, and its will. We realized that our history, our species, had been observed, tested, and ultimately shielded by a force older than civilization itself. The aliens who survived, transmission back into the void, carried a warning in their broken signals. Never underestimate what you cannot understand. We had been labeled primitive. We had been dismissed. But the universe would now remember. The children of Earth were not alone. And their planet would always awaken when needed. The sky cleared. The ground settled. And humanity, for the first time, understood what it truly meant to be protected by the world beneath their feet. We were primitive, perhaps, but our planet was formidable. And together we were unstoppable.